Writing task, IELTS Writing Task 2. We're looking at the third criterion, which is lexical resource in terms of the band descriptors. And today I'm going to discuss with you and indicate to you the difference between, say, the levels from 6 to 9. Now, one of the many misconceptions about marking in IELTS is about lexical resource, which in common parlance we call vocabulary or vocab. Now, people come and say, IELTS requires that your vocab should be very good, which means use difficult words, many words, rare words, or what they call uncommon words. But is that what IELTS requires really? Let's have a closer look. Now, in terms of writing task 2, lexical resource has the following factors: the range of your vocabulary, how appropriate and accurately have you used the vocabulary, and also word formation and spelling. So let's look at these a little more in detail. Now, when we're looking at band 6, it says uses an adequate range of vocabulary for the task. The important thing is to look at the words for the task, which means in the context of the task, have I used the correct words? So at band 6, you are using an adequate range. You don't have too much choice or you don't exhibit too much choice of vocabulary, but whatever you're using is reasonably accurate. That would get you a band 6. You might try and use less common vocabulary, but perhaps there would be some inaccuracy. The inaccuracy could be in terms of the word formation, it could be in terms of the spelling, or it could also be in terms of the word that you have used. And at 6 again, you might make some errors in spelling, but they're not so much obtrusive as to cause some kind of lack of understanding, lack of communication. So they don't impede communication, is what the band descriptors say. Let's look at going up higher. At 7, it says uses a sufficient range of vocabulary to allow some flexibility and precision, and there is an awareness of style. Now at 7, they talk about awareness of style and collocation. So style refers to whether you're using a formal or an informal style. Is it casual? So in terms of the writing task 2, you know that you have to keep to a more or less formal academic style. Writing in an informal style or using words that may be more common in an informal mode of communication would be inappropriate there. We look at few examples as we go on. At 8, your range of vocabulary is wide. So uses a wide range of vocabulary fluently and flexibly to convey precise meanings. That means precision is also coming in. And then at 9, your control over vocabulary is so very sophisticated and natural that it doesn't seem as if you have inserted big words just to impress the examiner. It seems to be a part of your natural range of your spoken or your written discourse. Let's have a quick look at some examples. Now here is a very common word, parents. If you were to look at a thesaurus, you might come across words like ancestors, you might even have the word progenitor, you might have forefathers, you might have guardian, you might have caretakers. Now the question comes in about the range of vocabulary for the task. Now if the task was about, say, some parents believe in giving their children a lot of pocket money. Do you think this is a good idea? Or give your opinion about it. Now in that case, use of words like ancestors or progenitor or even caretakers would come under inaccuracy, and not just inaccuracy but also inappropriacy. Why? Because ancestors is not parents. Caretaker is also not the parent in that context, because the caretaker is not the one who's going to be doling out pocket money to the child. And progenitor, again, comes in a very different context from the general context here, which we are looking at is between a parent and a child. So these would be clearly inappropriate. When you have a word like the world, you might have another synonym which becomes cosmos. But if you're talking about the increase in traffic across the world, and you say increase in traffic across the cosmos because you think, well, that's an interesting and a big word and a rare word, but then that becomes inappropriate. It's not precise use of vocabulary, because cosmos refers not just to the world where you have cars and scooters and motorbikes, but refers to the entire solar system, and we don't have too much traffic there, do we? The third is sometimes we put two words together which might have the same meaning. So you might write urban cities, but that's redundant because urban refers to cities. Or you might say big cities and small cities, or large and small cities, but you can't really have a small city. Then you'd use the word town, which would be more appropriate.